The following is a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about them Cowboys?
Yeah! Go Cowboys!
Blowing out of the backfield, exploding down the sideline.
This is Hangin' with the Boys, presented by Wingstop, where flavor gets its wings. Now, your hosts, Jesse Holley, Kurt Daniels, and Nate Newton.
It's Victory Monday! That's a live look at the Tostitos Championship Plaza outside in front of the Ford Center, where it is still cold in DFW, but it is hot in here because the Cowboys took down the Philadelphia Eagles in what we thought was going to be kind of a low-scoring matchup actually turned out to be a shootout. 40-34, the Cowboys pull the victory out on Christmas Eve. Santa brought us a nice little gift. We're going to run through this entire football game. But, fellas, how are you doing? How was Christmas? How were your holidays? Family's good? Did Santa bring you anything, Nate?
Oh, yeah, man. Just every time I wake up, it's Santa. Santa's got big things, man. I look over there at my beautiful wife and say, "Thank you, Santa."
Yeah.
But anyway,
I hear you. Hold on, we're gonna get to it. Let me get my boy Kurt.
I said, but anyway, that was it for me.
That's it for you.
Yeah.
It was
nice. About like me doing with the, I thought we'd get 15 pieces of shrimp. I always get done here.
I believe that off the air. Kurt, how was your holiday?
It was great.
Christmas?
Great time with the family and kids and all that. Had a really nice time. Got maybe my best Christmas present was about a 2.5 hour nap on a Sunday afternoon in the middle of the day.
Good.
Relaxed.
Yeah.
It was fun.
Do you have a weighted blanket?
I don't like. We have them, but I don't really like it. It's too much.
I got a weighted blanket and I love it.
Do you?
What is a weighted blanket?
My wife
It's
loves
exactly
it.
what it sounds like.
It's just real heavy.
It's a heavier blanket.
Oh, okay.
It's like a
fat man blanket.
No, not a fat man blanket.
It's like a fat man get heavier and heavier.
It's like when you lay on top of playing.
Stop. Yeah.
No, a weighted blanket. It's just a heavier blanket. It's like sometimes when you go to if you get an MRI or something like that, or the dentist, they'll put that weighted vest on top of you to calm you and to relax you of the anxiety.
It just make me nervous. But anyway.
You got one of those.
Yeah, I took unlike you, I took a really good nap underneath the weighted blanket. So it really it's a good. But Chris Beam?
Jesse kept his family out of the Christmas, but anyway, that's
Chris Beam, how about you?
It was tough because we didn't have water for 2 days. And that stinks.
Wow.
We had some frozen pipes at the house, so it was a little cold. So we were just struggling with no water.
Man.
No water with 2 kids.
Yeah.
That's not
So the in-laws were supposed to come up. They heard we had no water. They said, "We'll see you next weekend."
Were you happy about that, though?
Nah, I'd rather have the running water than the in-laws.
Sometimes those in-laws.
No, that's all good. I like the in-laws. They're
Okay,
cool.
all right.
Was it your house only, or like the neighborhood, or?
The neighbor had one pipe froze in his kitchen, but everybody else, I think there was a here and there, basically. So it came back on an hour before kickoff. My wife texted me. She's like, "We got the water back." So this was nice. So when I got home on Christmas Day or Christmas Eve, it was up.
Nice. And we hope all of you had a very Merry Christmas as well. I know the victory did a lot for a lot of people, but don't forget this segment is brought to you by Wingstop, where flavor gets its wings. Nate's mouth is wide open because the Denver Broncos had just fired their head coach, Nathaniel Hackett. I talked to Chris Beam and I were talking in the hallway. He said, well, yeah, they announced it today, but it kind of happened like 3 weeks ago. It's kind of been building up. You knew that he wasn't going to survive this bad stretch of football, and you can't fire Russell Wilson because you paid him $300 million. So that's how it always goes. When a guy makes a bunch of money, you got to fire the head coach. And now the swirling will begin on who'll be the net head coach of the Denver Broncos. But we don't have to worry about that here in Dallas because our head coach was victorious. Mike McCarthy and the Dallas Cowboys beat the Philadelphia Eagles at home on Christmas Eve to keep the hopes alive for the Cowboys, potentially, maybe, possibly. You're saying there's a chance to win the division. We talked about this all week long and before we left on Friday. We talked about, was this a confidence builder? Was this game a confidence builder that the Cowboys needed heading into the tail end of this season with the playoffs looming right around the corner? Nate, you said yes. Kurt, you said yes. I said yes. Coming out of this football game, tell me confidence-wise, where do you feel, Nate, the Cowboys are right now?
I think they took a step towards the right way because the Eagles forced them to play 60 minutes of football. Other teams, they didn't fear enough to play 60 minutes. They had to play 60 minutes. They had to strain to get this win. This win from the inside, as far as a football analyst, and we talked about it earlier, as a football analyst, they had to strain to get this win. This was not an easy win. So this is the thing Coach McCarthy talked about 5 games ago, since the Minnesota game. Strain, win these type of games where we lost last week with Jacksonville. We won this week with the Philadelphia Eagles. It was not pretty, and people probably said defense gave up an abundance of points for the second week with 400 yards total off. But this was a win where they did it without a pass rush. They had to strain. So, I like the steps they have taken, but it's just too bad what's coming up. I mean, they're going to play a skeleton team this coming week, so they should blow this team out. But anyway, go ahead.
Don't start with that.
Kurt, how do you feel confidence-wise? How do you feel confidence-wise coming out of this game?
I like the fact that I think they did maybe prove to themselves that they could come back against a good team. They're down by 10 twice and were able to do it. I'm feeling pretty confident about that offense right now because, that's a top defense, if not the number one defense. And they gave out sacks. They had their struggles here and
6
there.
of them.
Yeah, but I think overall, aside from that one horrible mistake right at the beginning, Dak had a great game. And I think as an offensive unit, they showed what they could do. Defense, well, they got it done in the end when they needed to. But that you had mentioned last week that it's time maybe for the offense to start carrying the load, and they definitely did.
Yeah, that to me was the bright spot. Is that we saw this offense be in the – no, it was a bright spot to see this offense kind of carry it. And I do have to give credit because, we are on Dak a lot. The nation, the country is fairly, unfairly, however you want to spin it. We are on him a lot, and it didn't start well for him.
No,
it didn't. And I don't know about you guys, but I'm sitting there, after we just did our pregame show, and you come out there and you have a wide open receiver, and you kind of throw a ball right into Sweat's hands for a pick six. I go, here we go.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I thought this was going to be the downward spiral of this football game, and Dak would throw one of those. But he settled the troops. He settled himself. He settled the troops, and he said, all right, cool. I made a mistake. We're going to get through this. And then he proceeded throughout the rest of that game to have a stellar performance and did what he had to do throughout that course of the game. There were a couple of plays that I go back and I look at that game. He had the one play where he was dead to rights for a sack. The safety had blitzed. He
stood strong, yes.
Dead to rights for a sack that would have killed that drive, and that could have been a momentum swinger. But he was just a unit, stood strong in there, kind of shoved off the defender and was able to get the ball out and not take a sack at that point in time. Then there were countless times in this game, maybe 2 or 3 times, 2 times, I think he had 2 carries for 40-something yards. He turned into mobile Dak. He turned into mobile Dak.
It's a Christmas miracle.
And I thought about you. When he did it. I said, wow. He turned into mobile running Dak. And he took a page, I thought.
Winning Dak.
He took a page out of Jalen Hurts' book of I'm going to make you guys now play 11 on 11. I am going to be a viable option every single time. And again, you don't have to do it like Jalen Hurts. You don't have to do it 10, 12 times a game, but you just have to do it 1 or 2 times, which he did, and to gain significant yardage where he was able to get first down, extend drives, to now those underneath defenders can't just come flying out of there back into coverage and making you but kind of read through coverages even more. They now have to kind of say, whoa, he ran twice on us already. Like, let's stay here. And now that open up those windows to those passes that you want to make to cross the middle of CeeDee Lamb or Schultz or something like that. So to credit Dak and that offense, to seeing him do those things, yeah.
And I kind of got distracted. And it stopped the games up front. The twists by the tackles and ends, that stops that. That make you come as a wall. If you go to stunting and twisting with your tackles and your defensive ends, all of a sudden it opened up bigger lanes. And so it made them have to rush straight ahead in their proper lane. So, yes, sir, Jess, great analogy.
Yeah,
man.
and so those are the things that I looked at, and I thought those were positive things. If we can get Dak to kind of do that more heading into the playoffs, if make teams say, hey, we got to watch him because he will run the football, because teams always want to get off the field on third down defensively. And when he gives you that, it sometimes it's a kick in the heart. Because you're like, man, we had him. We 3rd and 8. We lived for 3rd and 8. We gave up 11 to the quarterback because he scrambled.
Yes.
So if he can continue to do that, now I will say he has to understand sometimes too. Hey, big dog, don't go out of bounds.
Little clock mismanagement.
Well, we're trying to get this clock to run. That's 2 weeks in a row. First Kellen, now you. Stay in bounds.
Yeah.
You gave them an extra timeout, and it could have come back to bite you.
Yeah, he had that and then followed it with a sack.
With the sack. He should have thrown it away. So there were a couple of things that, you can look at and say, all right, that's teach tape stuff. But for the most part, mobile Dak showing up was definitely one that was a pleasant surprise to see, and I thought was a key contributor to winning this football game. Does this team, I think offensively, does this team, or can this team, I should say, can this team consistently, how do I want to pose this question? Because I look at the way that this team operates, and I don't want to take anything away from it, but I want to know, can this football team offensively get multiple guys going? What do I mean by that? And I went back and I looked. Even when they blew out Minnesota, it was the Tony Pollard show. No one else had anything. No one else. Tony Pollard had almost over 200-something yards. Yeah. You see a guy like CeeDee Lamb get going early in that first half. 8 catches, 103 yards, and a touchdown in the first half. Only the second player in Cowboy history to do so behind your guy, my guy, Michael Irvin, to do it back in like 93 or whenever it was. But it seems like when one guy gets going, nobody else gets going. Like the run game weren't there. Tony Pollard, another one of those games where you look up and you go, Tony Pollard only had, I think, 6 rushes.
Much. Yeah, it wasn't much.
I think he had 6 rushes.
Hold on now. This one time, Philly had something to do with that.
Yeah.
But Philly had something to do with that.
But when you go back and you look at it.
But he had 61 yards receiving.
Who?
Tony, didn't he have 61 yards receiving?
No.
He had 6 catches for 61 yards.
Yeah, he had 61 yards.
And he had 9 runs for 19 yards. So he wasn't doing anything on the ground, but he did.
Philly wasn't having that, man.
So
they only got 115.
I just want to know, offensively, can this team get multiple guys going within a game? Like, can you get
120-yard receiving, 150-yard rush? Yeah. That's hard. They haven't. That is a yo question, because I always felt that to win games, I always looked for my receiver to have 120, especially in today's NFL. Mm-hmm. With a touchdown, and my running back to have 120 with maybe a couple of touchdowns. I always thought in today's NFL that would be easy to get, but with this team here, I'm with you, Jess. It's like. But it was this guy week this week, and last week it was that guy week. So,
but if your running game as a whole they finished with 115,
15, yes,
that's
good.
What was the yards per carry?
3.7.
That's where it hurts.
Yeah, the thing is, and I understand what you're saying, Jesse. To have a true dynamite offense, you got to have so many weapons going into the playoffs. That you can't be stopped, that you truly can't be stopped. We are seeing CeeDee Lamb pick up his game in the last 3 weeks. He's picked up his game, but he picked up his game all of a sudden. Where was he in the second half? Mm-hmm. Why didn't Tony, why wasn't Tony? Well, I think a little bit of that goes to the credit of the defense of Philadelphia. But in these next 2 weeks, you're going to have those guys. Unless your quarterback is going to give you those 40, well, I think he had 40 yards rushing.
Yep.
Unless he's going to give you that on an average where he pick and choose in a smart time to run the ball and slide down, he may be that second guy. Like, we know that 3 guys for the Philadelphia Eagles going to show up. Sanders, Brown, and the quarterback. Them 3 guys are showing up. Now, anything else you get is gravy, but you're going to have to account for those 3 guys. Yeah. And so who are our 3 guys? We just we got to count our 2 backs as 1 guy.
Right.
But can CeeDee Lamb control a game? That's the question you ask. Can he get involved and control a game?
Well, not only, I mean, 'cause we've seen him be able to get involved, but can someone come alongside of him and help him?
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. So, well, we'll see.
Brown got hurt yesterday, but every time he ran on the field, Diggs was like, do I got him this time? Do I got him this time? You know what I'm saying? I don't think, unless it's a third and some incredible number where people double team Lamb, ain't nobody saying, I got Lamb this time. Because, and I'm asking you, Jesse, did they shut CeeDee Lamb
Yeah, I was
out?
wondering that.
Or did
what happened in the second
play
half?
calling shut him out?
We will answer that question on the other side of this break, as well as, are you as confident now in this defense as you once were earlier in the season? A lot of things transpiring defensively. I want to know where you guys are at in the sense of, is this still a championship-worthy defense? Stay right here with us on the other side of the break. We'll answer the CeeDee Lamb question. We'll answer the defensive question. This is Hanging with the Boys. We'll be right back.
Feel me.
I'm Dak Prescott, quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys. Blockchain.com is one of the most trusted ways to buy, sell, and trade crypto. Whether you're always on the go or stay closer to home, Blockchain.com is just a few taps away. Put the power of crypto in your pocket, so no matter where you are, you can trade on your terms and build a crypto portfolio to fit your life. For crypto pros, rookies, and anyone in between, Blockchain.com makes it easy to own a piece of the future. Blockchain.com, trusted by millions, trusted by America's team.
SeatGeek has your back no matter what kind of fan you are. So whether you're a diehard fan or a don't really care fan, a we got 'em next time fan or we'll never win again fan, a here for the tailgate fan or a first one through the gates fan, SeatGeek not only makes buying and selling tickets easier than ever before, they made just about everything else easier too. So whether you're a here every week fan or haven't been here in years fan, SeatGeek has you covered. Download the SeatGeek app today. SeatGeek, your ticket to great seats.
Star Sports Tours is the only official fan travel partner of the Dallas Cowboys, offering exclusive game weekend travel packages with pre-game sideline access and photo ops with current players, cheerleaders, and Cowboy legends. You want to stay at a team hotel, attend the best tailgate party in Texas, tour the Star, and talk X's and O's with me, Everson Walls? With Star Sports Tours, you can. Visit cowboystravel.com to book your travel package today.
Hey Cowboys fans, ready to spice up your next watch party? Bring Yo Quiero guacamole and be the game day hero. Yo Quiero means I want, and we know you want great, fresh-tasting, ready-to-serve guacamole for your home gating and tailgating events. Made with real avocados and the perfect blend of spices, it will be the star of any party. You can find us at your local Albertsons or Tom Thumb in the deli section. If you can't find it, talk to your store manager and tell them, Yo Quiero guacamole.
Back to Hanging with the Boys.
Welcome back to Hanging with the Boys on this Victory Monday. Cowboys victorious over the Philadelphia Eagles 40-34 at AT&T Stadium. Dak Prescott went off for 347 yards and 3 touchdowns. He did what he was supposed to do. CeeDee Lamb finished with 10 catches, 120 yards, and 2 touchdowns? 2 touchdowns? I think a touchdown or 2 touchdowns. It doesn't matter. I know one thing. Anytime CeeDee Lamb goes in motion, 2 touchdowns. Anytime CeeDee Lamb goes in motion and he fixes and tucks his chain in, it's a win. He's 2 for 2. That's twice this year he went in motion and was tucking his chain in as he was going in motion and scored a touchdown. So I don't know what that play is called, but we should just call it chain.
I wonder if he does that every time, or if that's a tell now that he's ball's coming to me. I'm putting my chain in.
Oh, that could be.
I hope not.
Ooh.
You know, I hate looking at TV.
Wow.
I hate looking at TV, man, especially these sports, because how San Francisco get 2 quarterbacks out of the game, and they 11-3, 11-4. How?
They're hot. They've
How?
got a lot of guys
Come
around
on, man.
them.
What you got on your mind,
Pretty
Jess?
good
Come
system. All right, so we talked about before in the end of the break with CeeDee Lamb goes off in the first half of that football game, and in the second half of that football game, he only had 2 catches for 17 yards. And some may ask, what happened? Was it the coverage? Was it CeeDee Lamb? Was it the play calling?
Yeah.
And to be honest with you, from my vantage point and what I watch, it's a combination of it all. It really is. It's a combination of it all. When you look at what CeeDee Lamb was doing in the first half, he was everywhere. He was outside on the right, outside on the left, in the slot on the right, in the slot on the left, in motion. Like he was doing all of these different things to get you off kilter. And they weren't shadowing him with Darius Slay. They were playing him wherever he lined up, however he lined up, that's who was the guy that was going to defend him. And he was obliterating the Philadelphia Eagles secondary. And I think in the second half, the movement stopped. The motion stopped a little bit. It was kind of just like stagnant.
Why?
And when the player is stagnant like that, it's easier to bracket him. It's easier to double him. So I think it's a little bit of both. It's a little bit of Kellen Moore keeping him engaged and keeping him in the same type of rhythm that you did in the first half.
Yeah.
And also the defense said, all right, someone else is going to have to beat us.
Seems strange that we go away from it.
You know what? This is about CeeDee Lamb, but it ain't. I'm looking as a fan. This got to be the only dude that can catch balls when people coming at him, and he so quickly can make a move to make them miss while the ball's still in the air. He's kind of.
But that's what. This is the part that frustrated people because that's who CeeDee Lamb was at Oklahoma.
Yes, sir.
It was his yak. It wasn't.
Yeah.
It was always the ability to catch the ball
Right.
and then the after.
Yeah.
That was always his thing. Get the ball, short distances, and then be able to turn, make guys miss, break a tackle, run through a tackle for the yak yards after.
Yeah.
So when he wasn't doing it here, people were like,
Yeah.
this is what you were built on. This was who you were. So, but that goes back to that glitchy part when it comes to Kellen Moore that we talk about as he can have those moments of sheer genius.
Yeah.
And then you can have those head-scratching moments like, the hell are you doing? You know what I'm saying? Like, and that's a difficult thing. But such is life. CeeDee Lamb goes off, and he has staked his claim as wide receiver 1. There was questions about that. I questioned it coming into the year, but I think at this point in time, he is undoubtedly.
Elite receivers now.
No,
he's still growing. He's still growing.
He's not in the conversation with the Justin Jeffersons of the world. No.
He's in that second tier.
Yeah,
and he's still growing. I told you, I say some people just came out like that, man. Hey, I am that guy, and watch me work. He's like, I got to learn to be that guy, because even his post game interview was like, I'm humble. I don't get too high. I don't get too low. You don't see him over there kind of with that old, walking to the sideline like I'm open. He's steady now. But now I think, Jesse, tell me if I'm wrong. Now we need to get him the ball a little bit more.
A lot more.
How long did it take Irvin and Bryant? How many seasons did it take Irvin and Bryant to get to that elite?
It took Irvin about 1.5 years because he came in and had to establish himself. Because they had some pretty decent guys, but he came in and established himself. But I remember the Washington game. I want to say his rookie year, and could be wrong. And he came to the huddle and said, "Hey man, I can beat this dude." I looked at him and said, "Dog, that's Darryl Green. I got this little dude. He was respecting Darryl's athletic ability and his speed, but he knew one thing. He said, "I will body this dude up."
Right.
He like, Nate, he is a great athlete. He is fast, but I will body him up. Get me that ball on a slant, and he can't stop me.
Yeah, Dez walked in.
Yeah,
Dez walked in.
Dez walked in and told you from the jump, I'm not here to carry pads. I'm here to compete. So he walked in right away, and that's just who he was.
He been doing this since high school.
Yeah, he been just throw it up since high school. Yeah. And that's why he's the franchise.
I watched
leader
him. I really
touchdown.
watched him in high school. He at Lubbock, not Lubbock. It was another school.
Lufkin.
Anyway,
Lufkin.
I used to like, what this young boy doing?
Throw it up.
Waving his hands up. Throw it up.
Throw it up, and it worked out for him from Lufkin to Oklahoma State to the National Football League to being the Cowboys' all-time leading touchdown grabber. Hey, just throw it up for Des Bryant. All right, now as we move to the defensive side of the ball.
I thought you were going to do this in the last segment. So we're going to talk 2 segments.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. So
it's time to get real.
This defense, I don't feel as confident. And I'm going to go around the room and ask you guys the same question I asked you when it came to the offense. Kurt, how confident coming out of this football game are you at this defense is at a caliber where you feel like it can be the driving force or at least a serious, considerable component to the Cowboys making a deep playoff run?
Well, I think they can be a serious component, but I don't have the same confidence as I did like the first month of the season. And I don't know if it's – I mean, guys, they're missing several guys. Yes,
Hankins at run game.
Van Der Esch, Brown, Lewis. I mean, they're missing some guys.
Van Der Esch, the run
and they've
game.
got some other guys just flat out banged up. Micah still looks like he's a little worn out, calling timeout later at the end, which might have been pretty smart of him to do. But still, I just – they don't look the same as they did before. They're good, but they look
are not the same.
Dominant.
They are not the same. When they was running around on fire, them first 5 or 6 games, 5 games after our quarterback became injured, Dak became injured, and I just repeatedly say, y'all, this is going to catch up with us. Even though we was hitting them with waves and waves of guys, it's still the same guys making the plays that were getting rest. As the season go on and guys get banged up and guys don't get that rest, 32, 34 minutes, that's too much. If we'd have been at 30, 32, giving them 28, 27 a game to play, it is built up. And now you're scared to take number 11 off the field. He's getting beat up. I saw him the other day for the first time. He went to rush, and the guy just jammed him up and had a perfect set. He usually could figure out a way, but he kind of just, I'm going to stay here and I'm going to wait on the quarterback to move, because somebody else was making prayer, and he was just waiting to make a move. And that normally isn't him. Now, you can call it veteran savvy, getting smarter, waiting to jump up in the air to try to knock down a ball. But you can't continue to get your defense beat up and think that they're gonna last the whole season. It has caught up with us through injuries. It has caught up with us through have to play the majority of the game, especially early in the season. And more importantly, man, the teams are going to get better. This is
for sure.
You can hope for 4 turnovers a game.
Hope is not a strategy.
But as the game
hope is and never will be a strategy.
But I'm just saying, as the game go on and the better teams you play, they're not trying to give up that ball. Especially the smarter quarterbacks, they ain't doing nothing stupid. You're going to have to get them off a true misread or force them to do something through your sheer great athletic ability. So they ain't going to make those bad moves. Like we saw this kid.
Gardner Minshew.
Oh, no. And I'm talking about the running back. Miles, that ain't his nature.
Right.
They're going to be weary of that. So 4 turnovers, like you say, Jess, hope ain't a strategy, but we do have it. So, you get 1 or 2 turnovers a game with no pass rush, it ain't happening, bro. We are a good defense. 3-4 weeks ago, we were a great defense. We are due to injury, we are in the lack of not being fresh. We are just a good defense. Now we're a good, solid defense that's everybody know their position now.
Yeah, over the last two games before Saturday's game, the Cowboys were giving up 31.5 points per game. The opposing team's offense were converting third downs at a 56% clip.
Yes.
And they only had one sack up to that point. Well, after that game, all you have to do is do the numbers. If they were giving up 31.5 points per game and they gave up 34 points a game, this game, that number goes up.
Yes.
They were at almost, I think they were like 60 or 70% Philadelphia was on converting third downs.
Yes.
That number will continue to go up. And guess what? The sack number?
57%, yeah.
They were 57%. So, again, that number will go up. And the sack number stayed the same. The last three games, the Cowboys have gotten one sack on the quarterback. So,
that's surprising.
It's very surprising.
As much pressure as they were given earlier in the year.
And Gardner Minshew, not saying that he's a bad quarterback. When you give up 355 yards to Gardner Minshew in a shootout, that says a lot, about your defense. So
is that, or maybe we got to go to break, but is that because, like you said, it's the same guys. Are they that tired, or is it a scheme thing where teams have figured out how to block them and Quinn needs to come up with a little different variety?
I will give you my answer on the other side of this.
That's a tease.
Because I got to show, I want to give you mine. Thank you,
And
Jess.
Nate will give you his answer.
Yeah, thank you.
On the other side of that break. So you guys stay right here with us because I have an answer. Nate has an answer for Kurt's questions, and we want you to hear it. This is Hanging with the Boys,
baby.
the number one watch show on YouTube across the Dallas Cowboys network. It's the sports talk equivalent of Braille. People feel us when we speak. I forgot it earlier, but I didn't forget it there. Stay right here with us. We'll be right back.
Yes.
Hey, Cowboys fans, ready to spice up your next watch party? Bring Yo Quiero guacamole and be the game day hero. Yo Quiero means I want, and we know you want great, fresh-tasting, ready-to-serve guacamole for your home gating and tailgating events. Made with real avocados and the perfect blend of spices, it will be the star of any party. You can find us at your local Albertsons or Tom Thumb in the deli section. If you can't find it, talk to your store manager and tell them, Yo Quiero guacamole.
SeatGeek has your back no matter what kind of Cowboys fan you are. So whether you're a diehard fan or a don't really care fan, a we got 'em next time fan or we'll never win again fan, a here for the tailgate fan or a first one through the gates fan, SeatGeek not only makes buying and selling tickets easier than ever before, they made just about everything else easier too. So whether you're a here every week fan or haven't been here in years fan, SeatGeek has you covered. Download the SeatGeek app today. SeatGeek, your ticket to great Dallas Cowboys seats.
I'm Dak Prescott, quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys. Blockchain.com is one of the most trusted ways to buy, sell, and trade crypto. Whether you're always on the go or stay closer to home, Blockchain.com is just a few taps away. Put the power of crypto in your pocket, so no matter where you are, you can trade on your terms and build a crypto portfolio to fit your life. For crypto pros, rookies, and anyone in between, Blockchain.com makes it easy to own a piece of the future. Blockchain.com, trusted by millions, trusted by America's team.
Hey, Cowboys fans, if you're thinking about attending a game this season, visit cowboystravel.com to book your travel package today. Stay at the team hotel, have dinner with a Cowboys legend, and experience AT&T Stadium's exclusive VIP Owners Club. Also, tour the Star, get autographs from your favorite players, and talk X's and O's with me, Mickey Spagnola. The official travel partner of the Dallas Cowboys will take care of all your travel needs. Visit cowboystravel.com.
Back to Hanging with the Boys.
Welcome back to Victory Monday. We are here live at the Star where the victorious Cowboys win over the Philadelphia Eagles 40-34. Boom. They beat us with our backup quarterback. We beat them with we got our lick back and beat them with their backup quarterback. So I don't want to hear none of that. We backup quarterback. No, y'all got us when we had our backup quarterback. Yeah. We got y'all back. So this kind of was set up. I would like to see the trilogy.
Yes, that'd be fun.
I would like to see the trilogy.
That's the second round.
I wish it was here.
I don't know. But it will be in Philadelphia.
Yeah.
Second round.
It will be in Philadelphia. If computer's listening, Troy Vincent, if you're listening, come on, Troy. Set up, make those refs make this happen. That's what computer says. The refs.
Computer Shannon says it's going to be all right.
Yeah. We had lunch with our boy Shannon today. It was good. It was good to see him and chop it up.
Chris didn't show up
with
for
Shannon.
us.
Yeah, well, Chris works.
Someone didn't show up for me.
Ooh.
Do your job. That's what Chris is saying right there. Be accountable. Show up when you're supposed to show up.
Ghosted me today.
Ghost.
Quit showing the TV,
Talking about Ghost, the nickname of one T.Y. Hilton, the number 16 with the locks out there. Listen, I'm like Michael Irvin. If T.Y. wants to change his name to Mr. Third and Long or Third and 30, be my guest. Keep the name alive. Keep 1-6 alive. Because every time they see 1-6, they're going to think about your boy. Is that what Michael Irvin was saying? Keep 1-6 alive. Because if it's going to happen, it's going to think about me. So I want you to think about, But yeah, if T.Y. wants to change his name to Mr. Third and 30 or Mr. Third and Long.
That's a 16. Oh, no, that's 18.
That's 16. Yeah. 16 making plays all day. But
Long.
No, he made a bad play last week. Jacoby Myers, and threw that ball back and lost the game. All right, so Kurt. You posed a question. I hope you remembered it because I didn't.
Yeah.
Defense.
You posed a question before we went to the break, and I said we would answer it on the way back. So
this defense was just had so much pressure the first part of the year. It was just leading the league in pressures, that sort of thing. It's still the same players. So why aren't they creating that pressure now? Is it they're just worn out? Has other teams figured out how to block them? Does Dan Quinn need to come up with other schemes? What's going on?
All the above. Mm-hmm. I'm serious. I'm not joking. And this team has been physically beat up, fellas. And they have won games. But I'm telling you, when you run for 200 and you run for another 200, then the next week you run for 166, that hurts. That hurts, man. You lose in time of possession. Everybody knowing where you line up. Now, Michael Schumann, this guy Parsons is a defensive end. He's not a surprise anymore. And everybody know he's got speed galore. So that's how they setting him now. They kind of let him get, and they say, I just got to get on my – I don't know what you young boy call it. I got to get on my horse, and I got to run now. Just run him around the loop. I'm going to tell you where Mike messed up 3 times at the end of the game this past week. He had to backtrack himself. And when you have to backtrack yourself as a defensive a defensive lineman, he took 3 inside pass rushes, flushed the quarterback out to his left. That means he done ran in there 7 or 8 yards. This kid floats out to about 15 yards. Now you got to run another 15 yards. That was wasted reps. It was clear that he's supposed to have an outside contain. If he rushes outside, I keep you inside. Now, but if I come in here, you flush out there, I got to go around Jesse and run out there. And I'm running wide open because speed is my asset. That's my superpower. But you're draining yourself.
Was he not doing his assignment?
No, he couldn't have been his assignment because it wasn't a rollout. It wasn't a design rollout. And if they telling you, they're never going to replace you. They're always going to replace you. If I tell you to rush inside, I'm going to have somebody coming up, a linebacker, a tackle or something, getting out there, making sure this guy don't break contain. So he overworked himself. You saw him at the end of the game talking about, he overworked himself. And I know he sounded good. Now, he's a politician. Now, he's learning. I felt that the team needed to get a last 30 seconds. I mean, we were all gasping. No, homie, you were gasping. You were gasping. From
Micah the Great Gatsby.
But, okay, now, this is the thing about it. And I'm comparing, I think, apples to apples. When you look at Philly defense, they have 3 defensive linemen, and they have 55 sacks. Now, those 55 sacks, 4 of these defensive linemen have 36 of those sacks. That's a lot of sacks. That tells me that these guys can individually control games. And together they have 55 sacks, and the front 7 has 46 of those sacks. Mm-hmm. So that tells you their front 7 can individually control a game. We can't do that. When we were sacking people at our highest points, we had safeties getting sacks. We had defensive ends. We had guys that was Dante Fowler had a couple of games. Armstrong had a couple of games. Everybody had a couple of games. Before Jay Lou left, he got him a sack. So they was coming from everywhere with the scheme. Now they got the book on us. Okay, when we set up like this is normally what they're gonna give us. They may tweak up, they may put a player here, but this is what they look like. You know, Jess, once we get the book as offensive coordinators, we can start dictating some of this. Now you have to be perfect in how you rush, how you scheme, how you play the games and the stunts, because they're missing key integral parts to this thing, and it's putting pressure on your studs. We have two guys, I think, that can take over games. That's Michael Parsons, that's Diggs, and that's sometime number 90. The other guys have just been in there doing their jobs. We don't have 4 or 5 guys like Philadelphia on their defense. Graham can take over a game. Fletcher Cox can take over a game. During the playoffs, Sue gonna dominate a game in the run. Hargraves had 10 sacks and did not make the Pro Bowl. 10 sacks. He had 5 negative run plays yesterday. I'm going to watch the teams that bear watching. That's why I can't keep watching this TV, because the 49ers are irritating me. The teams that can make a difference in your playoff life.
Yeah. And, you know, Nate literally covered everything. He covered everything. But I do want to give kind of some credit to some guys. Looking through and trying to find defenders. Shout out to Deron Bland. Like this kid, this kid is a guy who's kind of been waiting around and playing in spurts and playing here and there. And every single time his number's been called, he stepped up.
Training camp. From
training camp to Philadelphia.
Yes.
There has not been a time that his number has been called where he has not shown up. And I think the biggest thing about what you look at Deron Bland that he has an instinctual football mindset where he may not have all of the physical skills that some of the guys who went higher than him have. Mm-hmm. But his instinctual football mindset puts him in position to make the plays that he makes. And what athleticism that he does have, you couple that with the information and the knowledge and the instincts. Like, that's a huge part of this thing, man. When you're playing football, I've seen Nate. You've had a lot of dudes who've had just all-out skills but no instincts.
Yes.
Not understanding when the time is to do certain things, or when you have the instincts and you know, and you couple that with information and knowledge of what's happening and what you're supposed to be doing, man, you got a dangerous football player. And I think with Deron Bland, and that's one of the biggest things that Kelvin Joseph lacks. Doesn't lack speed, doesn't lack the physical traits. When you line them up and you say, all right, do the 3-cone drill, do the L drill, back pedal, open your hips, all those things, check. Then you put them on a football field and you go, what happened? Yeah. You have all the things that make for a good player, but you're not playing good. It's lacking that instinctual football knowledge. And I think Deron Bland has that, and he showed up in that football game in a major way.
Preparation meets opportunity. Breeds success, bro.
Boom. Yes. And I think that's going to help this football team going forward. But to Nate's point, J-Ron Curse.
They were kind of bouncing. They were trying some things at cornerback. When Sean Wright got some time. The new kid, Alexander.
I'm going to tell you something, man. I just, Jess, you are so correct. And I tell people, sometimes you got to, who would have thought, and I'm not being funny, who would have thought that Hankins coupled with Leighton Vander Esch and Anthony Brown, guys who have specific jobs, when we don't really think they're great at their jobs, now they're gone, and it's really hampered our defense.
Is there anything Quinn can do to help increase that pressure and all?
Man, it's tough when you don't have – see, when people talk about, next man up or next guy up or this or that and then the third, it's tough. It's tough when you're now playing second and third string guys who, when that rotation gets out of whack a little bit, it becomes very tough to now call up things. Because even when you call it, You can call it all day.
Yeah. There's
But
a reason why.
if you ain't got the guy to go get home, then you just call him plays.
Let me tell you something. This is where Jimmy and Coach Landry did not play. What you doing on that practice field when the first two teams are working? What are you doing on that practice field? Are you absorbing mentally everything that you can? So when we make a call back there, and it's a call-win call, but maybe once with the first team, are you ready so that double move won't get you? I'm serious.
You're right.
I'm telling you, it's what you do with the extra film work. Are you willing? See, the one thing about basketball, the good coaches, if you don't play a certain number of minutes after the game, whether you own the road or not, you got to run after the game. And that ain't happening out here. They have no regiment where you have to do extra when you don't get so many reps. Because if you do, they're going to call the player association. But they don't know the player association going to get that team in trouble, but you won't be in the league long.
Right. Yep. All right, man. Again, great win for the Cowboys. I think a huge confidence builder for them to beat the Philadelphia Eagles, see themselves in the win column. The hopes are kind of still there. We'll see what Philadelphia does this week. The Cowboys, this is going to be a huge week for the Cowboys because we're hearing talks where Tennessee may not have to even play this game because of it doesn't matter who they have to play. But this short week means something. Talk about a team that's already battered and bruised in the Cowboys. You play on Saturday and you got to turn right back around and play on a Thursday night on the road and potentially against Derrick Henry. That's a unit.
Hassan Haskin, Julius Chestnut, those are the guys playing. Because their game is not this week. Whatever happened between them and Jacksonville don't matter this week for both teams. Ain't no way in the world I play my boy Henry. Well, please don't play Henry because he's just as big as. The reason I don't really want to play because he's just as big as Parsons.
He is. Every bit of that. So
if he chipped Parsons.
But a big Cowboy victory, man, and that again keeps the hopes alive of the Cowboys potentially winning this division. Depends on how much Jalen Hurts is hurt and what. I have to say it. I gotta say it. Don't lock me from. I gotta say it. The fans will say it to me.
Hope is not a strategy.
Hope is not a strategy. Hope is not a strategy. Why you gotta call me out? I'm just. All right, man. We're out of here, man. Kurt, appreciate you, brother.
Thank you, man. Thank you.
There's Newey Scruggs.
Yeah.
What's up, Newey?
What's up, Newey?
What's going on, my brother? You good? All right. Hey, for Chris, for Nate, for Kurt, for Jesse, this is Hanging with the Boys. We'll see you guys tomorrow.
Will, Jazzy. Bye.
This has been a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about this,